Hello, in this tutorial we're going to look at connecting two instances of a data viewer web part together to reflect the one-to-many relationship in the backend database. Notice that I've got one web part configured on the left hand side, which is providing supplier information, and a web part on the right hand side which is supplying product information. And there is a supplier ID, which is the primary key to the suppliers table, and a supplier ID which is the foreign key to the products table. So we're going to go through and edit the page, and that will allow us to go through and set the configure web part dialog box. Now under the display tab for the suppliers, you'll notice there's a link to provide filter columns. So we're going to click onto that link and select the supplier ID, which will be sent across to be the column that we want to use to pass through to the consuming web part. So we'll save that, and we'll also set a column that is going to act as a hyperlink to fire the connection to the consuming web part, in which case we'll choose company name and click save. So you'll notice that the company name column has now become a hyperlink. So now we'll go through and visit the consuming data viewer web part and click configure web part, and this time we're going to configure the filter consuming columns, which is going to also be the supplier ID, so this time the foreign key. And under the display tab, we don't need to set the column name, since this is just simply going to receive the connection. So we'll click on to save at that point. The last thing to do is to actually provide the connection. So in either web part we can hit the drop down and we can go to edit web part, which is going to allow the connection menu to be displayed. We can hit the drop down again and notice that connections is available, and now we can send a key value to the products web part. We could also filter values as well. You don't have to provide or consume connections all the time between the data viewer to other instances of the data viewer. In fact, you can consume filters from the out-of-the-box filter web parts or from other SharePoint lists. And you can also connect to some of our other web parts, such as the SharePoint chart web part that we offer as well. So I'm going to provide a connection to the products instance of my data viewer web part, and they are now connected. So we will click save and close. So notice now on the page we are not showing any products just yet, but as we go through and select a company name from our suppliers table, it shows the products on the right hand side that supplier supplies. So we can go down and view that information as we navigate through the list. So there's lots of different scenarios that we could do there. You could display customers and orders, and even further orders to order details, or you could supply orders with the employee that took the order, and so on. So there's lots of different scenarios that you can apply using the web part connections and the data viewer. Okay, many thanks for watching.